Hello, everyone. Hope that you're doing good. I'm going to make sure that I read the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips balance in favor of fair use. I always like starting off with the Bible verse, and the scripture is Matthew 18, verse 6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones who believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depths of the sea. I'm going to have to shut the door because it's starting to get a little bit noisy out there. But I have to shut the door because I get that live to show on my phone so that I can tell whenever somebody responds. Since all right. So in Tennessee, Department of Children's Services, they failed to investigate child sexual abuse case reports, and of course, whenever I say something, I make sure to share where I get this from. I make sure to share the facts to prove what I am saying, that I am not just claiming this. This was actually taken from the Tennessean. This was published December 13th, 2022. Remember, this is 2023. So really, it was not a lot that long ago. Okay, it says here's an audit. Tennessee Department of Children's Services failed to investigate sexual abuse reports. Okay, the Tennessee Department of Children's Services failed to adequately investigate dozens of reports of sexual abuse and sexual harassment allegations in its state residential facilities in 2021. According to the scathing state comptroller report released this week, they failed to investigate it. It's their own people, basically. The state audit also found DCS ignored dozens of additional reports of alleged consensual sexual activity between residents, which DCS officials allegedly deemed not worthy of internal investigation due to the consensual nature of the activity. Excuse me, a kid does not do consensual. Don't go and give us the BS. Don't do that. Sickos. Although these acts were not considered sexual abuse or sexual harassment, they may indicate a lack of supervision at the facilities, which the department has a duty to investigate, the audit states. If DCS does not address all potential sexual abuse, are providing a safe, humane, and secure environment for all children under DCS's care, especially those that live in non-juvenile justice-focused family settings. The department countered that in residential facilities, DCS refers sexual abuse allegations between children ages 13 and 17 directly to law enforcement. But, here's the but, see the but? DCS did not follow up with those cases after referral. They were not doing their job. The audit marks an additional blow to the beleaguered department, which is currently grappling with critical staffing and placement issues. The Tennessee Department of Children's Services Commissioner Margie Quinn, seen here when she was a TBI agent in 2016. Okay. The Comptroller's office examined a cross section of 2021 cases where the department was under the leadership of former Commissioner Jennifer Nichols. Governor Bill Lee replaced Nichols earlier this fall, installing Margie Quinn, a former Tennessee Bureau of Investigation official, to lead the agency. He actually did something good. Bill Lee did, yes, but I'm still reeling over the Gracie and Grant case where he's affiliated with that church that just sweeping Gracie's sexual abuse that the daddy did to her, sweeping it under the rug, and also Grant's murder. He's do more, Governor Bill Lee, do more, then maybe you get another vote for me. But otherwise, I still will not vote for you until you settle that thing with Gracie and Grant. On Wednesday, Quinn and her team, as well as auditors from the Comptroller's Office, testified before a legislative committee about the findings. Quinn pledged to evaluate and make changes to the department and its processes. The Department of Children's Services has its challenges that goes back several years. Quinn told the committee, I'm here to find answers. Some of that will be difficult. DCS's Deputy Commissioner of Child Protective Services, Carla Aaron, said some sexual abuse investigations into DCS's contracted facilities fell through the cracks because the unit responsible for the investigations used a different software system than the one used by caseworkers. Aaron said the department was working with Vanderbilt University on improvements on the system. No, it failed because y'all refused to go back and follow up and all that, as it said earlier. Don't give it a no. Don't blame it on the software system when you would not do your job, you would not follow back through, da 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 da. Excuse me. Our kids are commodities. They are worth being taken care of. Yeah, they already don't have their parents around. They don't have their family around. And then they go into these facilities and there's a lot of sexual abuse going on. DCS Chief Information Officer Megan Stacy then explained the two systems should be merged by the third quarter of 2023. So they're still not merged. Dang. Hopefully they got it merged by now. And that was just a rough wrap of that. So hopefully they got it. I hope and pray anyway. Auditors also told the committee that the department was not in compliance with the Federal Prison Rape Elimination Act as it related to juvenile facilities. It found the department used outdated PREA policies, did not monitor all facilities for compliance during 2021, and that there were delays in both initiating and conducting investigations. that the 164 audit delves into myriad issues within the department, several of which the comptroller notes have been continually flagged over the years by state authorities and audits. It's been flagged and nothing done. Don't just flag, do something about it. Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. We know that the system and the government and all these other things are broken. You need to fix it like yesterday. Without committing to a robust strategic planning and risk assessment process, management hinders their ability to address and root cause and to fix systemic issues that have plagued DCS for years, the audit states. DCS failures contribute to child safety concerns. Of course it does. Of course. But, there are so many cases where they want to go get the kids first and get it out of the people's homes a lot of times. And I had one friend that, one lady I knew, and both of her kids were born with bone brittle disease. So every time I turned it around, their bones broke. Both of the babies, no matter what, they could just take a step and their hip go out of place or something. Did you know DCS took their children away and were blaming them? And then they found out that the doctor said this was their health problem. It was not the parents' fault because the kids have a brittle bone disease. Did you know DCS, before they could even get their kids back, still made those parents take classes and everything, making them, treating them like it was their fault about what happened to the kids? Although the doctor even said it's not the parents' fault. These kids have this disease. And it's a shame that they kept them kids still 6 months later. They were still in the system and not returned back to the parents. System is such a big failure to a lot of things. DCS failures contribute to child safety concerns. The audit released Tuesday found DCS is struggling to adequately care for the thousands of children in its care through foster and residential facilities, and repeated management failures jeopardize the safety, permanency, and well-being of Tennessee's most vulnerable children. There's so many that's kidnapped. There's so many that's attacked. Um, we're failing our kids. I found some where there were cases where DCS knew about um, the parents, and then like there was a mother that I guess she had kidnapped the kids, and one of the kids ended up deceased, and the boy was found deceased, beaten badly. That was a 2014 case where the boy was found in that suitcase. That's particularly the case that I'm talking about. These findings were bolstered by a concerning incident outlined in the report, in which one employee was investigated 22 times by DCS's Internal Special Investigations Unit, but continued to work with residential children until the employee was criminally charged with aggravated assault. They continued to have this person working for them knowingly, knowingly that there were 22 times this employee was investigated. Wow. Somebody says it'll never get fixed. Teen sues DCS's contracted home after assault, pushes for oversight. And there's traumatized group children spent a combined 1,134 nights in DCS's offices for 5 months. There were even kids that were sleeping under the desk. They did not have a bed. They were left there without any care, supposedly. The employee in question, who was not named in the report, was flagged for a high-level review in late 2020, and the SIU had noted safety concerns related to excessive use of force and injuries to children requiring medical treatment. And yet, DCS has kept this prudent child abuser in charge of children. You're going and taking the kids away from abusive situation, and yet you're going and let one of your workers continue to abuse the child. It's a time for the child to get help, and it's a time for the child to be healing. Now you got it to where kids are even afraid of DCS. And you know what? I guarantee you they are not going to like police or anything, all because of y'all's antics. They wonder why kids today do not respect authority. Well, guess what? Y'all weren't authority, and look what y'all did to them. Y'all violated these kids. These kids were y'all's responsibility. These people not only these people need sued. Everybody that's involved into this that did nothing, that kept these people hired, that kept the abusers, excuse me, the state, because they're a worker of the state could be sued as well. Parents, this is horrific. It was then hired by a different DCS provider working directly with children and was again referred for investigation for another 6 incidences. Did y'all see that? He was then hired by a different DCS provider working directly with children and was again referred for investigation for another 6 incidents. In March of 2022, after a number of children escaped from a Nashville based residential center, the employee allegedly chased and fired a weapon at the kid. They fired a weapon at the children. Yes. Oh my gosh. These poor kids. Luckily, he didn't kill any of them. Well, there might have been missing kids, and, he's not going to they can say, well, you know, wow. The employee was indicted and criminally charged with aggravated assault and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. Well, you know what? Y'all need to be charged too because y'all kept him hired knowing about his aggravated assault, child abuse, 22 counts, and 6 other counts like that. Excuse me, you knew what a danger this crazy guy is. Y'all are just as responsible. Like if we go to a doctor and they do something falsely, they can be sued because they're responsible for what they do. The kids are under the care of DCS and they are responsible for whatever danger that they are under CPS's watch. There are too many incidences. I got lots of friends who the DCS workers, um, it's not good. Sometime I'll have some of the people come on and tell their stories and share their stories on what happened with them. It's not always for the best interest of the child. I already know too many stories about that. So, current management indicated that SIU did not feel that this individual posed any new safety concerns up until the March 22 incidents, despite management's access to prior SIU investigative results where SIU had noted safety concerns, the audit says. Current management? So They're saying no safety concerns, and yet he abused several of the kids to where they needed medical attention. But no, there's no posted a threat or any safety concern. Dude, what? You're freaking out of your minds. You are out of your minds. You are supposed to protect the welfare of the children. You are not supposed to put them more in danger. They need sued, you all. Not just this brought up, but they need sued. This was in the Tennessean. Anyway, long-standing issues. The Tennessean is a local newspaper, okay? Long-standing issues with the department's data system were also outlined in the audit. The department has spent $125 million in state and federal funds in recent years to shore up the failing system, but it continues to contribute to problems with case management. Then it says horrific turnover. Nearly half of new Tennessee DCS caseworkers quit in the first year. Quinn last month requested $69.3 million in next year's budget to overhaul the system, in addition to $11.4 million for private provider case management as DCS struggles to keep its head above water due to the staffing shortages. The department is also seeking more money to raise staff salaries in an effort to stem a flow of departure from the department, which reported a 47.7 turnover rate first year case managers to fiscal year 2023. Other findings in the audit, wow, in 92% of sexual abuse cases that fall under a significant federal rape law, DCS did not move through the investigative process in a timely manner. No, they said that it was consensual, so they just looked at it as being consensual. They need sued for every case about that as well. All these children victimized, abused, shot at. That guy reminds me of my daddy, the guy that, because my daddy used to shoot at me, play his little games of hide and go seek. When he found me, he shot at me with a 12 gauge. Children remained in abusive and or unsafe locations as case managers struggled to conduct timely investigations. Struggled? No, you didn't go back over the cases, remember? Once y'all went ahead and gave it over to law enforcement, y'all didn't go back over it. So get over it. We already saw the facts a minute ago that was said. So, excuse me, I will stand by what I had already read. Hello, Jackie. Good to see you. I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Some children in state custody experience significant delays in vital medical and dental screenings due to DCS's outdated computer and filing systems. And caseworkers fail to make essentially monthly supervision contacts with children, families, and school providers in probation cases, further endangering the welfare of the children. See, background check processes for employees and volunteers were disorganized. So you're trying to say that y'all did not do a thorough enough investigation of the employees or the volunteers? Don't try to give me that crap when y'all already knew that that one guy above had 22 counts, 22 things against him in which he hurt. more than 6 kids that required medical attention. And then later on, shooting at some of the kids that escaped from the facility. They need sued big time. Uh, I hope you had a good day at work today, Jackie. Yeah, now you can sit down and relax with a cup of coffee, can't you? The crisis at the Department of Children's Services is widespread and well documented. Senator Heidi Campbell, a Democrat in Nashville, said in a statement in response to the audit, "There's no excuse for inaction, half-hearted fixes, or more delays. The department's top responsibility is to keep children out of harm's way, and we will sound the alarm until the state lives up to that promise." Lee's office did not respond to a request for comment. Of course, like I told you, Governor Bill Lee is he goes to that church where Grant Solomon and Gracie Solomon and um, Gracie's father went to, and Gracie's father essayed her. And the church just basically was condoning it. The church and the school, they have a church and a school right there together. Okay, it was as good as it can be. I'm ready for the weekend. Yeah, it's about the weekend here. What time of day is it there? I'm gonna do another live about 2 p.m. in like an hour and 30 minutes. A guy's gonna come on and do his story of his child abuse that he endured. Oh, okay. I hope you had something good to eat for supper too. I had saw this, about um. Did you see what the title was? I'll go back to where the I'll share my screen again, and I'll show you the title of it as well again. Let's go back up to the top. I had to make it bigger because of audit. Tennessee Department of Children's Services failed to investigate sexual abuse reports. And this was just, like I said, it was published 1:50 p.m. Central Time, December 13th, 2022. Updated December 14th, 2022. And I love calling these people out. Oh, yeah, I can imagine soon. I can imagine so. I don't know what I'm going to have for supper yet. I got some stuff for spaghetti, and I didn't had my I had some country pork ribs that I had for 2 days, till I ate all that. But I don't mind leftovers such as that. But it's gone now. I had barbecue country ribs yesterday and the day before, like I said, and mashed potatoes. Now I'm thinking about that. My stomach's growling again. It's like, but you're gonna have to hold off. Hold off, tummy. I want to make sure, and anybody who wants to share this, they can. And I really believe with the Tennessee DCS felon to investigate And them even knowing that that dude that worked for them, well, that guy that worked for them had other problems of abusing children, and yet 22 cases against him, 22 write ups. And that does not mean that's all of them either. There's probably more that did not even get um, reported. So there's probably, like I said, there's probably more of them that did not get reported. And they kept him on, knowing that there was 22 things against this guy that worked for CPS. And then they went ahead and put him into another DCS. They still hired him through DCS thing, and he was working directly with the kids then. And then there was at least 6 more cases of severe abuse. And he actually, these kids end up escaping from there. I don't blame them, the kids trying to run away from that facility. He was abusing them. My gosh, what kid would not want to run away from that? And then what's his answer to him? Getting a weapon like a gun and shooting at the kids. I think that DCS needs sued, endangering the welfare of the children. They're just as responsible as these other parents that abuse the kids and they go to jail and stuff. These workers should go to jail for putting these kids in harm's way. In so many cases where they got SA'd and everything and did not investigate the report. They said, well, they turned it over to the police. But yeah, after DCS, they supposed to keep a follow up on the cases, but they didn't. They just basically swept it under a rug and said, well, it was consensual sex. How do they know whether it's consensual sex or not? How dare they? How dare they? Even though a kid might say, yeah, I did go ahead because they might have been threatened. Excuse me, no. They are under your care. It was so bad, like I said, Jackie, that they even had kids sleeping in the floor at the office. I remember that. I could understand that they were not they were understaffed, but still, these kids deserve better than this. I am sure would have been some other people who would have liked to step up to the plate and do something for these kids if they knew that they were under this harm's way, without food, without a bed to sleep in. Y'all go ahead and they're removed from their families. In not all cases, like I said, the parents are not at fault all the time. There's false allegations because some people can be spiteful and go ahead and lie, and they do something about it. So, people, I think a lot of us need to do something about it, especially if you had kids in the system during this time. Y'all got a lawsuit on you. Y'all could sue the state. How about y'all sticking up and doing that? They take it out and they blame you and all that. And how about suing them for them doing maltreatment to your child? Shooting at your child. Physical harm to your child where they had to get medical attention from that one staffer who was horrifically child abusing them. So people, stand up and be accounted for. Do something about it. Stop just sitting idly back and doing nothing. We are the kids' voice. A lot of people just discount kids that's in DCS, thinking they're sorry pieces of crap and all this. How dare you judge these kids this way? It's not a kid's fault because what they went through or are going through. It's not a kid's fault when you're going like this and you're abusing them. That's the sorry pieces of crap that goes and abuses a child like that. And they work for the Tennessee DCS, and yet, so like I said again, with them working for the state of Tennessee, people could go and speak out and do something about these people that's supposed to protect our children, but instead failing our system. They're failing our kids. They're failing our state. They're making us look horrible. Y'all all have a voice. Don't lose the voice. Help these children. Don't just sit idly back knowing this story. Let's do something about it. Be the voice for the children. And I want to say God bless each and every one of y'all. I am a firm believer in God. This was not God's will. God's will for us to protect the kids. And thank you so much. And thank you for being here too, Jackie. I love each and every one of y'all for being here and supporting me. Like I said, in a little over an hour and about 20 minutes, I'll be doing a live. A friend of mine's going to do his child abuse story, and it's brave of him. It's going to be his first time ever sharing his story. So I hope that some of y'all can come back and give him the support that he deserves. Thank you so much, too, Jackie. It's appreciation and love to each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you so much.